Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Little Miss Funeral YouTube channel. My name is Lauren Leroy and I'm a licensed funeral director in the state of New York. In the last video that I posted on this channel, I was talking about price shoppers, what they mean and how funeral homes can react to them. If you're interested in that video, you can watch it over here. In that video, I posed the question if anybody had actually ever called a funeral home inquiring about prices. And I did get responses on that, but some of them actually surprised me. And one of the responses that I got was that somebody didn't have enough time to call and shop around funeral homes because the death occurred very suddenly. So in this video, I want to talk about different places a death can actually occur and how much time you actually have to make a decision, because I really think that it's going to surprise you. So the first place that I want to talk about where a death can occur is a hospital setting. If a death occurs in a hospital, this actually affords a family probably the most time frame to make decisions, and this is why. Hospitals have morgues, which means that they have refrigeration units where a person can be transported to, keeping their body nice and cool. Because of that refrigeration, it severely slows down the decomposition process, meaning families don't have to make any quick decisions because it's not necessarily the most urgent thing to get them out of the hospital and into the care of a funeral home. A lot of times when a death occurs in a hospital as well, different things are happening behind the scenes. Because of the controlled environment with the medical professionals that the hospital does allow, sometimes organ, tissue, and eye donation is a huge possibility, meaning that a funeral home cannot take somebody into their care because that avenue is being looked upon to see if it's even an option for a family. Secondly, with the discharge process that comes along with a hospital setting, a lot of times even if a funeral firm is ready to come directly to the hospital to pick up somebody, we can't even do that because the hospital has to go through their medical records, making sure that all of their paperwork is in place prior to a funeral firm coming out. So because of all of these things that can be happening behind the scenes, it can sometimes be hours before a funeral firm is even allowed to come there to pick up somebody and bring them back to the funeral home. Families might not even be aware of all of these things that happen, but this is not what we would call in the industry an immediate removal or an immediate transfer, meaning when the funeral home is getting the phone call, we are not dropping what we are doing and going directly to a hospital because we just need to make sure that everything is in place first. The second place a death could potentially occur is in a nursing home setting. Now, oftentimes, this is going to be the setting that you might feel the most rushed in order to make a decision. This is what we would refer to as an immediate removal, oftentimes because when it comes to nursing homes, they want to make sure that if a death occurred, that bed is available for other people who could potentially be coming in. That might sound like a horrible turnover story, however, there's just not enough beds sometimes for the need that is there. However, with a nursing home, you still have time. Realistically speaking, you probably have 2 or 3 hours before a nursing home would truly get a little bit pushy, maybe with the nursing supervisors coming over to you if you were the family, asking if you had somebody in mind who is going to be coming out to take care of your loved one. That still should give families enough time in order to go there, to spend some time with their loved one, and to talk it over if they weren't prepared with a funeral home prior to this death. Then the third setting that I wanted to talk about is going to be a home passing. Now, this can be a very controlled or not controlled environment. In a home setting, it could be something controlled like a loved one being under the care of hospice, meaning that people know that the death was going to be occurring, with medical professionals and some equipment being present in the home to make that passing as easy as possible. Or it can be a very sudden, unexpected passing where somebody just had a massive heart attack within the walls of their home and 911 was called with the paramedics and medical professionals coming out to them. Realistically speaking, even though we are calling this an immediate removal within the funeral industry, you once again have time to sit down and make decisions. Even though deaths can occur in other places other than those 3 that I mentioned, those are the 3 that I really wanted to kind of focus in on because realistically speaking, for the majority of folks, they're either dying in their home, in a hospital setting, or in a nursing home setting. Even though accidents, suicides, homicides do happen, in those other instances, normally what is taking place is the medical examiner is going to take somebody into their care even though the death occurred someplace other than the 3 that I mentioned. When a medical examiner gets involved, once again, families have time to make a decision. So regardless of where the death occurs, minimum, I would say you have at least an hour before you would have to really make a decision on what funeral home you wanted to use. Do you know how many funeral homes you could call in an hour just to get pricing information? These phone calls do not take a very long time. So at the bare minimum, you have at least an hour to make a decision. But on the other end of that spectrum, if a death occurs in a hospital setting, you could have a full day in order to make a decision. And I just don't think that people realize how much you could get done and how much information you could get with just a 3 to 5 minute phone call to a funeral home. So for the purpose of this video, but also piggybacking off of my last video that I posted, I want to call a funeral firm and act like I am a price shopper.
He just wanted to be cremated. How much do you charge for that?
Direct cremation as in no viewing, or like a viewing and then a cremation?
No, I don't think he wanted to have any services. I think he just wanted to be cremated, and then we were going to do something at my aunt's house.
So our direct cremation price is $13.95, and that includes us picking you up at this place of passing, bringing him back, meeting with the family, securing all the necessary documentation, providing the container for the cremation itself, transporting you to the crematory, picking you up from the crematory, and then giving your uncle back to you. You also have to pay the charge for the crematory. There are a couple in the area, but that's going to usually range around $365, and then death certificates are $10 a piece.
Okay, so if I needed like 5 death certificates, how much would everything?
Probably around $1,800.
Okay.
If you're price shopping and you really don't have much money, other funeral homes do charge cheaper than the $13.95. Some will charge more, some charge less.
Okay, thank you so much. You were super helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Once again, he gave me a lot of information within that phone call, and it didn't take a lot of time. I'm just gonna call that one funeral home, but realistically speaking, I could call at least another 5 if they answered right away. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now, so this is quote unquote during normal business hours. So if I called a couple of other funeral homes, I most likely would get somebody directly as well. It was 9, 10 o'clock at night instead. Normally I would probably be getting a hold of an answering service where I would be waiting for a call back. But normally funeral firms are going to call back right away as soon as they get that price shopper call, because it's going to ding in our phone letting us know that we need to reach out to a family, a death has occurred, and they have questions. In conclusion, you have more time than you think to make an educated decision. The important thing is you should never feel pressured. Even though you do have to make some decisions within a timely fashion, you have more time than you think. If you haven't already done so, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It lets YouTube know that channels like me are making content that you like. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.